Hello, welcome to the new series of mind-blowing facts by Omnicessary, Part 1. On April 8th, 2024, millions of Americans witnessed what the media called the Great North American Solar Eclipse. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, partially obscuring the sun when viewed from Earth. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon completely obscures the sun, turning day into night in some places. The eclipse on April 8th, 2024, passed through North and Central America, creating a path of totality stretching about 160 kilometers wide and 16,000 kilometers long, traversing North America. Only those within this path could see the total eclipse. There are some mind-blowing facts about eclipses that you probably didn't know about. If an eclipse were a main dish, it would require 3 ingredients: a star, a planet, and a natural satellite. But not every system with these 3 elements produces a total eclipse. As mentioned earlier, for a total eclipse to occur, the moon must completely block the sunlight shining onto the Earth from the sun. To achieve this, the moon and the sun must have roughly the same apparent size. It's different than the actual size. Let me explain. The sun's diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers, roughly 400 times that of the moon, which is 3,375 kilometers in diameter. The moon, on the other hand, is much closer to Earth, orbiting at about 384,400 kilometers, roughly 400 times closer than the sun, about 150 million kilometers away. With these factors aligned, you have a moon and a sun that appear almost the same size when viewed from Earth. The apparent sizes of the sun and moon in the sky are what matter. Thanks to this coincidence, total eclipses can occur beautifully on Earth. But it's not always this perfect. Because the moon orbits the Earth in a slightly elliptical orbit, its apparent size changes and gets larger when closer to Earth and smaller when far away. A total eclipse can only happen when the moon is close enough to Earth to slightly exceed the apparent size of the sun and completely cover the solar disk, leaving just the corona illuminating the edges of the moon. Conversely, if the moon is at apogee in its orbit, slightly smaller than the sun, the eclipse will not be total, but rather annular. Similarly, Earth's orbit around the sun is also slightly elliptical. The distance from Earth to the sun varies, affecting the sun's apparent size, although not as significantly as the moon's. When Earth is farthest from the sun in early July, total eclipses are more likely to occur. Conversely, in early January, when the sun is larger, the moon may not fully cover it, resulting in an annular eclipse. It's no exaggeration to say that an eclipse on Earth may be one of the most beautiful and perfect eclipses in the entire universe. Omnicessary wants to say that humans are among the luckiest creatures ever to exist, being able to freely observe this magnificent celestial event. It does, however, cost some money to buy eclipse glasses. But it costs nothing to subscribe and stay put for upcoming mind-blowing facts and news from Omnicessary. But didn't I just say that all we need for an eclipse is a star, a planet, and a satellite? Are we that lucky in this vast universe? Well, kind of. Star, planet, and satellite combo isn't rare. Even within our solar system, 6 out of 8 planets have satellites orbiting them. Eclipses also occur on Mars, with its potato-shaped moon, Phobos, partially eclipsing its surface. But compared to Earth's eclipse, it stands no chance. Because finding a total eclipse is rare enough, having one on a habitable planet that nourish an organism smart enough to appreciate its beauty is much more challenging. Magnificent, yet technically an eclipse is just a shadow. A large shadow, an astronomical scale shadow cast by the moon. If we're not too strict every time you put on a hat or hold an umbrella, you're creating a partial eclipse. On a larger scale, planets like Jupiter and Saturn also cast shadows and create eclipses as they pass in front of stars. However, you wouldn't know when it happened because the sun is too bright, and you wouldn't be able to observe it without proper equipment to reduce the glare. Saturn can also pass in front of the sun, causing a partial eclipse and creating a double eclipse. This hasn't been observed yet, but it's entirely possible. And here's a video illustrating how it would look when it happens. So ultimately, outside of Earth, does a total eclipse occur anywhere else in the universe? Since humans haven't ventured far, we can't be sure. But with billions of stars, planets, and satellites floating out there somewhere, it's quite likely that a similar trio to Earth, Moon, and Sun creates a beautiful total eclipse like ours.
Yeah, boy.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a star-planet-satellite combo. The combo could instead be a star-planet-planet, but the result will be the same. Think about how lucky we are not to have to search but to be presented with such a top-notch eclipse in the entire universe. Here are a few more eclipse facts. Eclipses are not rare. Even total eclipses of their special kind occur quite frequently, about once every 18 months. But a total eclipse reoccurring at the same location is extremely rare. If you miss a total eclipse once, you'll have to wait 300 to 400 years to see it from that same spot. Total eclipses can last from a few seconds to over 7 minutes. The eclipse on April 8th lasted about 4 minutes and 27 seconds. If you were on the moon or somewhere in space when the eclipse occurred, you would see the casted moon's shadow moving across the Earth. This image is taken from the International Space Station. It looks quite intimidating, doesn't it? On Earth, that shadow moves at over 1,600 kilometers per hour, even faster than the speed of sound. Hopefully these facts can cheer you up. What do you think? Are we the luckiest creature in the entire universe? Remember to like and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to continuously blow your mind. And now, goodbye and see you again.